Hi guys, this is Mike and today we're doing a shootout between the JHS Pedals Morning Glory Clean and, of course from the same company, the Moonshine version 2, which is the currently available version of the Moonshine. And yeah, if you are interested in both of these pedals, you might know that they are pretty similar in some aspects, but in others they are totally different, right? And I really want to highlight the differences today because I think then you can make a better and more educated buying decision. And I will also tell you which one of those is my favorite at the end of this video, right? But first things first. So I did record a short sample, a short loop on a looper pedal, and I'm going to use that to show you the differences in actually setting these pedals up, right? Please note that although we have the same controls, right? We have volume, we have drive, we have tone, and we have clean. And in this, at the beginning here in this sample, I set all those controls here, volume, drive, and tone, fully counterclockwise, right? To their minimum settings. And the only thing that is turned up all the way is the two clean controls, right? So in theory, we should actually hear the guitar at the same volume, no matter if these pedals are turned off or on. Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the clean, loop for a couple of seconds. Then I'm going to engage the Moonshine and then the Morning Glory. And let's see what happens, right? So here's the loop. Right, so I did not stop the looper, it's still going, but you don't hear anything. And that is because on this pedal, the volume control, the volume control sets up not only the clean, but both of these, the drive and the clean, right? So if I would like to have a guitar sound, I would have to turn it up. That's not how the Moonshine works, right? Both the volume and the tone are only responsible for the sound of the drive channel, if you will, right? The clean is totally independent from that, and the clean is only your clean guitar. So in my humble opinion, this is a way easier to set up system. It's way more logical because on this pedal, and you will see that later on, if you want to have a mix between clean and drive, you always also have to set up the volume, right, at the same time. You basically have to do three things at once. While here, you can set up your drive, the tone, the volume, and then you can mix your clean guitar in or out as you wish. And I think the reason why they decided to do that on the Morning Glory Clean is another, important thing to know. And that's because I think, maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, that this pedal is capable of being a clean boost pedal as well, whereas the Moonshine is not. You cannot raise the volume of your clean guitar on this pedal. You can raise the general volume if you, mix the drive into the mix basically and then set the volume pretty high, then it gets louder, but it's of course crunchy, right? So if my ears don't play tricks on me, I feel actually that to reach, volume unity, we have to set the volume to it like 2 o'clock, okay? And so the whole area from 2 o'clock to the maximum is the area that you get to boost. It's not much. It might be 1, 2, or 3 dBs. It's really not much, but we can try it out. So this is the guitar without this pedal inline. Right? So that's a huge difference. If you want a clean boost, right, or a pedal that is capable of delivering clean boost, then this is not for you. This can't do that, right? There is no way to set the clean signal louder than it is. right? So that's a huge difference. Now let's actually try to play around with the, drive basically, and we'll do that on both. And you know what? I'm going to spoil something because that's also very interesting. The Morning Glory doesn't have 1/10 of the gain of the Moonshine, right? It's really a very low gain pedal. And I believe it's not designed to be like a high gain pedal, but this can do that, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually slowly turn up the drive, right? I will have to, play around with the volume as well as we established before. And basically I'm going to reach maximum drive, right? And then I'm going to set this pedal as close as possible to this one, okay? So here we go. Just quickly going to turn the clean all the way off so you can hear how just the drive sounds like, okay? Yeah, so that is the maximum amount of drive of gain that this pedal is capable of. As you can hear, the drive itself is a little bit fizzy, but I feel when you have the clean at least at half, it actually sounds pretty nice, right? Yeah, so what do you think? I actually feel that these two are now pretty close, right? So you can definitely achieve the sound of the Morning Glory on this pedal here. Just, less is definitely more, right? And yeah, I actually feel these are pretty close now. But of course, this pedal has way more to offer. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to turn up the drive, to the max basically. And I'm also going to show you what the plus function does, which is basically to boost the drive even more, right? And yeah, I'm also going to show you how you can achieve a louder signal from the get-go, but of course with a drive sound in the background. So these are basically the differences between these two pedals. You know, don't get me wrong, I actually do really like the Morning Glory Clean, especially when you kind of understand what is happening with these three knobs here, right? Then it's easier to set up than if you just try to do it blindly. And I also do feel that this has like a very silky, smooth quality to it, right? But having said that, you do achieve like 95% of the same sound of this pedal on this pedal here. Plus, it actually has a pretty decent sounding overdrive function built in as well. So what I'm going to do now just quickly is to give you two more samples, a medium gain and a high gain setting. And then I'm going to tell you what I think about these pedals. Here we go. Enjoy. Okay guys, welcome back. I hope you liked the samples, and if you've made it this far in the video, this will be the friendly reminder to please like, subscribe and hit the notification bell. You know, my big goal for this year is to reach 20,000 subs, and so every, sub and every voice counts. It would be really cool if you were a subscriber, and I know that, the vast majority of you guys watching these videos is not subscribed, so please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. And yeah, now is actually the time where I tell you my personal opinion about these two pedals, and to be completely honest, this is pretty difficult because I feel these two pedals are so different and each one of them has their own thing going on, right? So I really do like the low gain sound on the Morning Glory Clean. Not that this is, a high gain pedal, we already established that, but I really feel that it adds like a sheen to your signal. I do appreciate that we can boost your, clean signal a couple of decibel. And yeah, I really do appreciate what it does with an almost clean guitar. The Moonlight, on the other hand, is a completely different beast that I actually feel really comes alive with a lot of drive turned in, right? As you could hear in the last sample, it really sounds awesome. It obviously has a very different voice, a different sound than the Morning Glory. After all, this pedal is basically a modded Marshall Blues Breaker. So it is brighter, right? While this is a modded Tube Screamer. So naturally it will be darker and also more saturated, but it does sound very juicy, I have to say. And I also appreciate that you can always dial in your clean signal for that attack and clarity and note separation. So yeah, both very cool pedals. I'd be hard pressed to choose one. If you would force me to choose one, I think I would still go with the Moonshine, simply because, you know, when we turn it to a very clean setting, we can actually, I feel, achieve like 95% of the sound of the Morning Glory. However, I feel that both of these combined would be a great addition to any pedal board, right? So yeah, I think I'm going to spend a couple more hours fiddling around with these two pedals and then make a decision, because I'm definitely keeping one. I don't have any overdrive in my collection where you can actually dial in the clean sound, and you know, I've really fallen in love with that option trying out both of these. So yeah, I'm still going to mess around with both of these pedals, but guys, let me know what you think. Which one of those did you like more? Write it down in the comment section. It's always great to hear your thoughts on pedals and gear and stuff. But yeah, basically guys, that was it from my side. As usual, have a good one. See you next time. Bye. With two eyes.